There are three steps to manifesting what it is that you want in your life. First of all, you've got to get crystal clear on what it is that you want. You can't waffle here. So, what I mean by that is if you want $1 million and that's what you want, then blinders on, we can focus on $1 million. But if what you're really looking for is the sense of security that would come with a certain amount of money or maybe all your debt paid off, that's different. Because when you earn $1 million, if you don't pay off all your debt and have that sense of security, you still won't feel like you have reached your goal. So we need to get really clear about what it is that you want. And we're also going to use that a little bit later. Next thing that you want to do is you want to get a vibrational match to what it is that you want. So, what that means is if you don't have this thing yet, which I assume that you don't because you're trying to manifest it, where you're coming from right now is a place of, I don't have this. And what we need to do is we need to be in alignment with already having it. So we're going to be attracting to us whatever is vibrating at our same frequency. And if we don't have something, then that's vibrating at a different frequency. So, in order for us to align with what it is that we want, we need to align with that frequency. So, the problem is you may not have ever had this thing before. Like, so say it is financial security, financial freedom. You may never know what that is actually like from your past, but you could tap into what would be like to experience that one day. And perhaps maybe what that looks like is instead of knowing exactly what it feels like to have the financial security, maybe you know what it's like to have freedom or security or a sense of pride or accomplishment or something along those lines in another area of your life. So that what you can do is look back on that, take that emotion and that feeling, that energy vibration, and apply it to what it is like to have this financial freedom now. So notice what I did there as well, in that I said it's happening now, right? So we don't want to look at what this is like to get it. We want to look at what it's like to have it, because to get it implies that we don't have it, right? To have it implies that it is within our reach. We already have reached it. We've got it. This is possible. This is doable. And our unconscious mind is actually listening to this stuff, right? You've got to look at those experiments that scientists have done with, say, top athletes, for example, where they bring them through a simulation, right? So they basically a virtual game, essentially, of them training. And while they're watching this, or while they're just sitting back and remembering their last training session, the scientists are monitoring their nerve impulses and their activity to their muscles, and actually found that according to the person, they were doing the activity. Now, they maybe weren't actually running at full tilt. They're sitting in a chair doing this visualization or using these virtual goggles, but neurologically, they were training for this activity, which means their brain had been convinced that they are doing this. Now, if they were thinking about training in the future, that maybe would have a different result. But they were thinking about a training they've already done. So a training they know is possible. And so their brain interpreted that as, we are doing this right now. This is possible. So that's what we want to do here with whatever it is that you want. We want to see it in the now. And that means that we also want to have some flexibility here, because whatever this outcome is may not actually be the best version of that outcome for us. So we want to be able to practice some semblance of surrender here, where we are open to opportunities that might bring us in a slightly different direction or maybe in a totally different direction. And that is done by actually knowing what it is that you want, but focusing on what that feeling is. right? And again, is not what it's going to be, but is. So the feeling of accomplishment, the feeling of pride, the feeling of wealth or health or whatever it is that you are looking for, it's the feeling of that rather than visualizing all the steps that you're going to take to get there, because perhaps those steps are not the steps that you're going to actually end up taking. And that third part is actually freeing ourselves from the resistance of the very thing that we want, right? Allowing ourselves to surrender, allowing ourselves to see opportunities that pop up and always be able to shift with that, but keeping in mind that we are trying to keep that vibration up. We're trying to keep that vibration at the level of having this thing instead of not having this thing where we are currently. Right. So that means that as we go through our day, we are naturally going to have moods that go up and down. And so that we just raise our awareness on that. And we ensure that as our mood goes down, we start to work on that to bring that vibration back up. Right. So we're always coming from that place of accomplishment rather than lack. And then we need to really up our game with our awareness and look at what our behaviors are doing. Are there things that you are doing that is actually in direct resistance to this very thing that you are going after? So, for example, if what you want is something that's going to require a lot of work, and you know that that's going to require work, it's going to require some different moves, some strategy compared to what you are doing right now. And you set the goal, and maybe you even write out all the things that you need to do, and then you don't do the things, right? You just leave it for the universe for everything to come together. The universe doesn't quite work like that. The universe doesn't listen to what it is that you say, it listens to what it is you do. So when you jump, when you take measures, right, an active, proactive position here and jump into it, expecting this to be yours, that's what the universe listens to, not a to do list that you don't bother to tick anything off of because you're going to wait for the universe to provide everything for you. So when those types of things come up, you are demonstrating some resistance to the very thing that you are looking for. And so this is a time for reflection to look at, is this actually even what you want? Or is that you're not prepared to do what you need to do to get it? And if that's the case and it's still something that you really want, what is it that you can do to make this something that is attainable? If this intrigued you and you're really interested in learning more on a deeper level on how to manifest like a boss, then head on over to manifest.lifelikeyoumeanit.com, sign up for my course, which is only $9.97.